And as we begin our class, I want to welcome all of you on board in the journey of strategic management. And I want to say that I'm excited to have you back. It's been a hectic week for me also. The university, very keen to ensure that we ensure that all students get the value for their money and resources. We believe we are doing that. Hitches were there, of course, with any new system. Hitches will be there, but I believe that all of them are going to be sorted out. You can see we have rescheduled your cards for tomorrow and Monday. And so we believe that all of you are ready. Really, cards are just not anything to scare anybody, because they're just things that you have been doing, really. You just look at the topics that you have been covered. We have covered up to last week. And just a normal system. The only thing is that this will be timed so that you'll be able to, as soon as you open, you'll be expected to go sequentially and run through question 1, question 2, question 2, up to question, the last question. Here we have different ways of examining. We have multiple choice questions for section A, which are compulsory. In this case, the card has 10 marks. There are 10 questions. Go through them quickly. Then you get to the second section, which is essay, which you write and upload, or you can type directly. You have an option. You have space to type. And then all our time, the 1 hour, we do this within 1 hour. So it requires the candidate to manage her time very effectively, so that you are not timed out and you don't go back. You know, in the first multiple choice question, once you look at question 1, you finish it, you move to question 2, 3, 4 until you submit. At the end, you submit. That's what it means in this approach. So welcome. I see a few other people joining in. I see Helen Atieno. Karibu, Helen. And I see BBAM 049449. Karibu doesn't have his name there yet. But we begin now. Today's session is the 4th topic or the 4th week of our journey in this semester. And as we wanted to move very, very quickly forward, last week, of course, we looked at strategy as strategy management, and we're moving. Where is our problem here now? Let's retry. Right. We're on. Right. Sorry for that hitch, a little bit that hitch. We are having a little hitch here and there, but never mind. We'll continue. And I want us to move fast forward. There are issues. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think I'm on now. Can you hear me now? Now? Because we have restored this. Yes. Can you hear me now? Yes, okay, we move them speed. I want to tell you I had issues also at the beginning with the other class. Yes, we'll continue. Strategic management. Not moving the next, but we have moved to the now slide. Is really talking about the objectives of this. Yes, welcome to this course. Of course, again, we normally do this a 4th session, and it gives us now. Again, I encourage you to look at your notes. notes, look at what we have given you. So there may not be videos for every. I have a picture here. Shows about strategy formulation. Strategy formulation is really the beginning of formulating your strategy for the organization. And as we see here, we'll start with the mission, the what, we move on to the vision, the where. In strategy formulation, really where you are going is you want to formulate this strategy. You can see the arrow is pointing out as you go towards the far right, as you go up with the time, the horizontal line is on time, as you move forwards with your strategies. And these are project implementation, measurements along this arrow here. So you start with the mission, with the what, the vision is where we are going. And strategy formulation, really, strategies are the activities that will be running on between this line, on this line, really, as you go from your mission, what you are doing, to your vision. That's what we are looking at when we look at today's session, talking about strategy formulation. What does it mean to do the strategy formulation? You know where you are going. And as usual, I like quotable quotes. There's one here from Java House, and we can see it here. The journey is forever. That's what a company does. A business is set up as a journey is forever. And then do not ever let yourself feel like you have arrived. You know, that's what it means with companies. Don't feel you have arrived. Because if you do, someone else will come and run right past you. You always have to keep going because you haven't reached the mountain top yet. So the journey of a company, a business, is competing. And according to Kevin Ashley, Java House, Kenya, you know, this quotation is very interesting, which you can apply very well for our course in terms of talking about strategic management, because you have not arrived. The journey is forever. It's really moving on. And if you stop, others will come and pass you. Same thing with the companies. If you don't look around and move forward, then that's what it means. Okay, for today, at the end of this topic, today's topic or session, we'll be able to analyze the process of strategy formulation for an organization, be it a small organization or large organization, be able to analyze that. And then, of course, discuss the role and place of strategy planning, rather as a key tool for strategic management. Strategic planning is part of it. And the camera is giving me a little headache here. Okay, that's a hitch, but never mind. When it comes on, I think we have that hitch. Hi, how are you? I can see Helen, I see Jacqueline, I see Marlo, Josephine, I see Moya, karibuni sana, and Wanjiru, of course. So as we go along here, I said, these are the objectives. This is what we want to achieve in this class today. You will be analyze the process of strategy formulation. You also discuss the role and place of strategic planning. When you look at your course syllabus we send you, today we are looking at strategy formulation and introduce you to strategic planning. That's what we'll be doing before the end of the session today. That's where we are going. That's the menu for today. Hope you will be finished by the end of it. We'll have a dessert at the end of it, or a pudding. In English, call it pudding or dessert at the end. Now, introduction as a way of introduction. We've been doing the journey of strategic management. And we said it is a way of moving forward the organization. Now, you have to formulate strategies. And strategy formulation is an analytical process of selecting the best suitable ways, best suitable course of action to meet the organization objectives and vision. The best suitable. From that diagram we saw there, the graph, you know, you're skipping on the ball, as they say in football. So, but you need strategies, you need ways, you need to select the best suitable course of action that you carry out to reach there, to be the best company, like we saw in the vision, to be number one, to be a world-class institution or organization. You have to keep your eyes on that, but you have to run, and you need a course of action to move there. Now, strategic plan allows organizations to examine its resources, provide financial plan, and establish the most plan for increasing profits or meeting the objectives. Then it's examined through SWOT analysis. Use SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Time in terms of look at your company. inform all employees and everybody. The strategy is really implement the process. Within this plan are actually strategies that the company is used to move forward. And so as we move on, ladies and gentlemen, we are just as a way of introduction, we're looking at strategy formulation, the strategic plan of the organization or the company. Here, some of the things that we may be, first of all, let's look at the long view of what is formulation. Strategy formulation, as you see in this diagram presentation here, we can see we begin by establishing the organizational objectives. You must know what you are doing and where you want to go. What are the organizational objectives? What are they? What are you there for? What do you want to achieve? And then you analyze the organizational environment. Yes, you look at the environment. We talked about SWOT analysis. You look at your strengths, your weaknesses, you look at the opportunities and threats, the organizational environment. Then you formulate quantitative goals. Your goals must be quantitative in that they are measurable. Anything that cannot be measured cannot be done. That's what the old adage says. Anything that cannot be measured cannot be done. So you have to formulate quantitative goals, which actually include objectives and activities. And then you have objectives, of course, in the context with divisional plans. What are your quantitative goals and what are your objectives? Each department or division you have to come with objectives. What do they want to achieve? What are your departmental objectives you want to achieve in line with the organizational goals, in line with our vision and mission, of course. And then, of course, you get down to performance analysis as part of analyzing your performance, and then you get selection of the strategy. What strategies are you going to do? And so on. Continuous process. They are continuous process, by the way, as we'll see. Then as we go along here, another way of looking at strategy formulation is this. As we look at this, I hope you can see this. Let me enlarge this a little bit. Hope I can. Yes, when you see this, strategy formulation process, it has its stages. We can talk of stages in a summative way. Stages in that stage one, you identify a company mission and goals. That's stage one. You look at this, you define the business and define your main objectives. What is your business? What are you in? And what are your main objectives? That's stage one, when you are going to formulate strategies. And then stage two, identify the core competency and value creating activities. What activities are you going to be doing? Analyze the firm's unique abilities, firm's primary activities, firm support activities, and analyze national and the national business environment. This is like the environment thing. You look at the environment. Here you look at what do we want to do? What are we here for? And what we want to achieve. And here you look at what are we now? What do we have? What are our capabilities? Here, look at value creating activities. Then, once you identify that, the next stage is now you formulate your strategies. Select multinational or global strategies. If you are going global or national or regional, you look at what you want to achieve. And then corporate level, you look at the corporate level now. Corporate level is at the top level there, the board of directors, and look at what is the big thing about the organization, where you want to go. And then, of course, the business level, the regional, the brand example, the brand department, the bank, for example. The bank top to expand, we're going to use IT, what sort of technology. And business level now here is looking at how do we then achieve this. But the department level is the lower level, which looks at now we are on the ground. What do we need at the ground level to move forward? So generally, this is the journey formulation process. Identify company mission, identify core competencies, formulate strategies, and bing, you go. That will be coming in strategy implementation. But for formulation, which is today's session, we are looking at these stages here in a different format as we look at this. As we go along here, we get back, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, we look at now the next slide here is we want to get a little closer to this. When you look closer to this, and here we are, we look at strategy formulation. Number one, establishing organizational objectives. We are now looking at zeroing in on the details. Organizational objectives. This involves establishing long-term goals. Strategic decisions can then be taken organizational, and where you cannot set your objectives. The objectives are those measurable things that you want to achieve. and things you can evaluate and say, yes, we have achieved this. Yes, we have expanded by adding new branch. Yes, we have expanded by adding new products. These are some of the things that come in when you look at the objectives. Okay, and then you analyze the organization environment. So when you establish that, the next thing that is you are going to think to achieve objectives. The environment includes uses a tool called SWOT analysis. It's also pastel at some stage, political, environment, and so on. But here we are zeroing in on SWOT analysis, which is more for this case here. SWOT analysis here, what does it do? It looks at what are your capabilities, what are your weaknesses, what are things that you need to improve on, or or internal factors which the company has control over. So these are all internal factors. You have what control over. For example, you have the trained staff, yes, the manufacturing top managers who are well trained, and the good workers who have skills and knowledge, and they can run the factory or can produce. So those are strengths. You have also the processes, and you may have a superior technology. Weaknesses could be areas like if the finances, you may not be able to master finances require on a day, let's say working capital, it could be an area, or any others, like you may not have well-trained staff. You're going to expand, you need more people to be able to better skills. Those are some of the things you see as weaknesses, internal, which you can control. Then the opportunities and threats are things really out there. What opportunities does organization have? If it is in the question of manufacturing apparel, for example, clothing, where are the opportunities? Right now, as you see, opportunities are in children. Because people are producing children, they require good clothes for their children, young infants, and so on. And of course, if you'll pardon me here, I talk about ladies. Ladies buy quite a bit. Men, we don't buy much. But ladies industry, when you look at textiles, really that's an opportunity, and so on. Young college girls require specific type of goods and services. The opportunity if you are in an area of supplying goods and services for such a kind of market. Threats could be there as well. What are some of the threats that you see? Maybe competitors are there. Maybe other people, maybe technology is changing, and therefore new products are coming, substitutes. These are things that you can see as threats and so on. On the other hand, and are external factors which the company has no control. You don't control this, but you need to know and mitigate factors that make it. Ways you can counter them. A successful organization builds on strength, overcomes its weakness, identities, takes against another. This is what it is really when you talk about analysis of organizational environment. You use the opportunities. Successful organization builds on strengths, overcomes weaknesses, and identifies new opportunities and protects against external threats. Those are things that you look at as you move on in terms of step 2. Step 3, which is coming on after you've done that, you form now quantitative goals. What are our goals? Defining targets so that you meet the company's short-term and long-term objectives. Example, if you talk of 30% increase in revenue in this year of the company, if you made 100,000 last year or a million, then you are talking of 30%, which means 1.3 million or whatever. So that's what you'll be looking at if you look at quantitative goals. That's what you are setting. And when you do this, they are measurable. They are time bound. You know, we talk of goals or objectives that are smart. They are achievable, yes. They are measurable. You can measure them. Given, yes, and they are also time bound. You do your quantitative goals, then objectives in the division plan. You see, these are goals, and look at now vision. The vision as a this involving gets for each. Once you know what you did to a million, you know now to target of come from and look you can achieve. And then accept that you come that means what departments are supposed to do. If it's manufacturing departments, You talk about manufacturing, you are producing, so the production department. Then, of course, each department, like there's production, there is sales also on that hand, there is also marketing, there is also the purchasing. So all this, and financing, maybe you want to expand to produce 30% more, you must expand, maybe finance. So each department has their own objectives to be able to fit into the main objectives of the organization. Then, of course, part of this is analysis. This is done to estimate the degree of variation between the actual and the standard performance. We come across this again when we come to implementation. But it's part of this, really, the bigger picture. It's part of this strategy formulation. You have to have this in mind. How do we analyze this performance in terms of the strategy we have chosen? Then selection of the strategy comes in. Which strategy are you going to do? If you are going to expand 30%, for example, increase revenue by 30%, there are many strategies which you can do. And I may pause here for a minute and ask the question here. The question I want to pose here is that if you are to increase by 30%, what strategies would you recommend? Strategies would you recommend? The mic is available. You can pick it and talk. We hear you. Or you can type. What strategies or actions, what strategies would you recommend? Increase production by 30%. Increase production to increase revenue, because revenue increase revenue by 30%. I want to pose that question, ladies and gentlemen, and let me hear from you. Yeah, you want to increase by 30%? What? I'm sorry, that. Do this, shift and type. Yep, there we are. Pose that question. If you are called upon, let's say by you advising, as I mentioned earlier on, most of you are now managers. All of you are managers because you are 40 years, second semester. So if you are called upon and asked, yes, so and so, tell us, we want to increase our revenue by 30%. And you're just a brand new graduate from ZTech University with a degree in whatever area. Can you tell us what are some of the, what are some of the strategies? What strategy would you recommend? Sorry, I repeated that. What strategy would you recommend to increase revenue? What strategies would you recommend? If you ask that question, let's hear from you or let's read from you. Rosendo is typing, yes. What about the others? Helen, yeah. Trish, Mlogosi, Karibu. Let us hear from you. Your mic is with you. You can unmute and then tell us. Muya, Lunda, what are some of the strategies you think you can recommend? Increase revenue by 30%. We've seen from here that if that example, right? Yeah, the mic is available. You can get the mic, get the courage and speak into the mic. Let us know. Thank you very much. I can see they reduce the production cost while considering the quality. That's a possibility, yes. When you reduce the production cost, then of course you can increase revenue. Yep, because costs is part of it, cost of production, which is when it's high, then your revenue, of course. Increase revenue by that sales, it means whatever. While consider quality. Anything else? Let's see from you. Let's read from you. And as we can pick the mic and say something. When you talk of reduction of productions, while quality, necessarily is production. Yes, the mic, tell us. Or the person, that's becoming constant. See on your one is there, reading or Wanjiru's response. If we are reducing the production cost while considering quality, would that necessarily be one of the strategies? Yes, and how does it work? That's a question I wanted to ask you. You reduce the production cost. What does that mean? It means your revenue, of course, does what? Cost of production, which means you are gross profit or gross revenue. is higher, and therefore it may mean having higher revenue. It's possible, but I wanted to hear more from others about what that means. As we do that, I see others who are typing. We'll be waiting, but as we go along, if you have some response, please. Objectives in context with the division of plans, we say that performance analysis and selection of strategy. When you select strategy, this is this final step of strategy formulation. It involves evaluation of the alternatives and selection of the best strategy, amongst them to be the strategy of the organization. Now, here is a point where you now select. After you've gone through these steps, you now select which is the best. And that's why I was asking you, you want to reduce by 30%, that's your goal. The best strategy you can do this. And I'm still waiting for members who are an interaction session, class doing welcome, board, you're at home, listen and relax. Yes, we are going through this. Pay attention. It's not an interrupted class. Of course, we are continuing, but pay close attention to comments we are making and your colleagues are making. We are waiting to hear from you guys about that, this reduction. How do you, what other ways can you increase revenue 30%? A suggestion has been made, reduce the amount of raw materials for the production. Yes, Jacqueline Malo. If we do that, if you reduce raw materials, maybe per unit, maybe if you're talking of minimize the costs, which ties on costs you are using, maybe you are wasting a lot of raw materials, that's possible. Yes, if your wastage is high, it's a possible one. So after selecting the strategy, then you are good to go in terms of implementing. Next stage is implementing your strategies. Now let's come. A few other examples here would be, to do this, you took at cost of production, including wages. For example, if you reduce the wages, not really wages, but increase the productivity of each worker by maybe efficiency coming in. When you talk about efficiency, you are able to increase your revenue, being more efficient in terms of the raw materials, in terms of the production costs, in terms of the power usage. If you become more efficient, then you increase your revenue, and that way you will be as a target. So now it targets other departments as well. You can see it targets all other departments. That's why the departmental divisional departments have to come with a division. How are you going to reduce costs? How are you going to use less raw materials for higher productivity? How are you going to make sure that sales, the market there is responsive? All those tie together. And I can see most of this number of responses down here. Rosanna reduce the production, Jacqueline Ma reduce the amount cost, and Ma use the appropriate and recommended raw materials for the the wastage and so on. Very good. Now let's move on. After selection, you move forward. And another way of looking at levels of strategies. We've talked about corporate level, business level, functional level. I want us to zero in on this. This is very interesting diagram you see here. It shows you the levels strategies are made, even decisions. It also ties on decision making. That at the corporate level, that is at the level of the strategic that, and you look at the board of directors, and you look at the managers, regional managers, and you look at the departmental heads and so on. Then you look at the people on the ground, the units, the sections. If you look at the manufacturing, for example, manufacturing as a division, production as a division has its own units. That at the corporate level, the strategies are at corporate level. You are looking at the bigger picture, the organization at large, where need action, reduce. That's what they do. Business strategy is how functional level, what do we need to achieve this, and operational level, how we organize machines. That's what it is. When you look at it's here nature, of course, when you look at it going and this is happening at operational, a lot of it is going on as well. Activity, that's where the road, as the can say, means the road. That's where it is. Without this operational level, you cannot go anywhere. That's what it means. Without the people on the ground, Sure, if you look at, for example, a manufacturing, car manufacturing assembly, like we saw last time, without those robots or people who are operating on the shop floor, you cannot talk of General Motors making profits or selling highest vehicles, because it's key. And then the functional level, which is next to it, the business level, which is oversees this. So each of these levels oversees the next one, by the way. It oversees, and it also, what it does is, evaluates what goes on at the next level, and so on and so forth. If you look at the university level, you can look at the board of trustees, which is really board of the council, governing council. Out here, board of trustees, governing council at up here, and so on and so forth. They give direction. Then we at the business level at the university now, the management in the university, led by the senior manager, chief manager, who's the VC himself, the CEO, and then we come down to departments and divisions and down all the way to actually the people on the ground, in terms of the lecturers, the units, the people, the subunits, and so on and so forth. That's what it is. Pictorially, again, we want to look at this more over now each of those levels separately. So we zero in. Corporate level, for example, start with corporate level. What does it do? Corporate strategy defines the markets and business in which a company or organization will operate. Yeah. The bigger things. Which business are we in? Are we in manufacturing? Are we in transport? Are we in service? Are we in higher education? Like the investors in higher education, they can either set up a university, or they can go ahead and set up maybe chain stores broadly. But they've said we are in university education, and that's where we are. And when you're in university education, what are we offering? What other programs do we need to bring on board? We bring in master's program, for example, now. It's approved that we need to do graduate school. We need to also look at other areas that we need to be more. So at corporate level, you are looking at we are in higher education. And then at the corporate level, again here, it's formulated at the top level by the top management of a diversified company, yes, board of directors and CEO. Then such a strategy describes the company's overall direction. Where are we going? Is how we go in terms of what do we want to be at the end of the day. And then corporate strategy level again defines the long-term objectives. In terms as you move on in this case. And generally, yeah, with the advantage and so on, having issues here, and we're trying all the time there. Connection. Try again. Again. Yeah, there is. Right. You are disconnected. It's not going. You can't stand. Hello. Try again. Hello. back here. Yeah. Resisting. Oh, can't even mute. Try. Students have lost it. And we still have the units. Hello, are we together? Hello. Hello. Oh, they want to they can't come now. Go back here. Same story. Connected. And now can you see my picture there? Yeah. Right. Sorry for the hitch. The hitch. I think it is technical. Sorry for the hitch. Technical. Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Now? Yes, it's a problem
Yes, we
here.
do.
Yes, it's a problem. It's technical, really. So let's continue. I think this is continue. So very quickly, we're talking about the corporate level again, and we are saying the corporate level is the top level that looks at where the business we're in, formulates the top level of objectives and so on, and looks at the longer direction and really defines the long-term objectives where we want to go as an organization. And as we go along, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, the next slide touches on the level, business level. We looked at the corporate level, you remember. We looked at now the business level, which is level 2. And the business strategy defines the basis on which firm will compete. It's a business unit level strategy formulated by the senior managers of the unit. Senior managers of the unit, this strategy emphasizes strengthening of the company's competitive position of products and services. Now, it can be unit or organization. And our case here would be more of top management of the university, whereby we are looking at our competitive position of the programs we are offering and how we offer them to ensure that we reach them. Not today, one of the papers today, your university, ZTech University, is really the top university in Africa, among those that have impressed blended learning as compared to other universities. So you should be very lucky. Clap for yourself, that your university is top. Yeah, are we together there? Yeah, if you look at today's paper in the Daily Nation, as getting that message as I was talking to you here, that we are rated the top, among the top, in fact, the top university in Africa, which is rated best on blended learning. So we are saying, as managers, senior managers, the vice chancellor, the CEO, the deputies, CEO and DVC, and this top management level, they look at this. This is like business level. We look at where we are going to position ourselves in terms of the products, the services, the course we are offering, how we offer them. The business strategy encompasses all the actions and approaches for competing against the competitors and the ways management addresses various issues. That's what happens. Yeah. The level of the CEO, management, that's what they do. All actions is going and competing and like others and others, local and national. We can address these issues by looking at what we are doing currently, looking at blended learning as an approach, as a strategy, of meeting our obligations, our objectives of offering higher quality, higher education or university education. So that's what it means at strategy level and business level. Business strategy is usually formulated in line with the corporate strategy. Yeah, we have to see what the council and the board of trustees are looking at. What are they looking at in terms of the university as a going concern? So as a going concern, our strategies are in line with the vision and mission of the university, and seen from the board of trustees and board of directors and council, and seeing where the organization is. If you look at the companies like Safaricom, the board of directors, those are the people who are looking at what is happening, and then the management is there, the CEO, new CEO is there now, running that organization, with his team. They are looking at where do we want to go as Safaricom, and so on. And every company in every sector do the same thing. Business strategy is usually formulated in line with the corporate strategy, as we said. The main focus of business strategy is on product development. What products are we having? Curricula, for example, developing new courses, innovation. We are very busy innovating, integration, both integrating vertical and horizontal. These are things that will be coming to when we talk about the strategies in terms of where we are going. Can we vertically integrate horizontally? If it is company production, you see that happening. Market development, diversification, and the like. This is where we are. So business strategy really deals with the nitty-gritty, where we are moving, and how do we move there as an institution. And then we look at business, of course, business strategy. Level, which comes in, is the lower level, the level of actually is operational level, which is done at the operational level. Operational level. Just slides coming on here, we are able to see where we are as an organization. We've talked about the corporate level, and now we are looking at the next level. Hello again. Now, viewers, hello. Hello. Join the audio conference. Yes. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Are you hearing me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, we are.
Connecting. Echo sound, or what is it connecting now? Hello.
Yes,
You are now unmuted.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
The other I could connect. No, you can't switch. Okay. Using another one. So this time now. I have a problem. Now it's frustrating.
Mhm.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, are we back? Hello.
Hello, sir.
I'm having a lot of technical issues here. So as I had alluded earlier, I'm back again and we want to move faster now.
Okay.
Yes, we don't lose anything, but it's only the time we're spending on this. I just talked about functional strategy now, which is more or less at the level of really getting down to from the business level to functional level. Is a reality. The department division designed for each organization function at the functional level. There's many, maybe production strategy, marketing strategy, advertisement, sales. All these are the level below business level. And as we said, below business level, that the business level is at the senior management. Senior management gets it down to the next level of management, which is middle management. So the middle management now is involved at this functional level, whereby if you are in marketing, yes, you look at the main objectives of the organization, and you get down now to how do we increase production from the marketing perspective. Production department has been given targets, maybe increase production by 30%. So they know we are producing at 100 now. We want to make it 30% by the end of this year. So they have actually set up their own strategies for that. And then, of course, marketing gets into marketing the product in terms of the sales and how to read the market to capture 30% of the market in this year, whatever it is. advertisement comes in, sales strategy. The human resource strategy also comes in at the functional level. Do we need extra human resource? Need to hire new marketers? Do we need to hire this team? These all come from actually the other departments. That these are our requirements, and the human resource therefore acts on this. Inventory is what we call the purchase the stock. Financial strategy comes in. We are hiring new people, more people. If we need more equipment, more raw materials. Financial have to look at where do we get the money to buy the extra raw materials. They have to organize that, so that there's a question of each one is playing their role to meet the target of 30% overall. Training strategy comes in here. Do we need to train our faculty, our staff, our employees in specific areas in order to capture the 30%? These are then the functional strategy refers to strategy that emphasizes a particular functional area. Particular in that we have talked about the various areas. It's formulated to achieve some objectives of the business unit by maximizing resource productivity. Functional strategy is concerned with the developing distinctive competence. Again, here we've talked about strategic management as really developing that distinctive competitive advantage over other organizations, over competitors. And hence, this is the functional level which really, as I said, the rubber meets the road, in that they are the people on the ground. Without them, you cannot go far. It's like the foot soldiers. In war, for example, you need the foot soldiers. These are the people, the combat people on the ground. You can fly in there, up there, we want to see, capture that city. But you see, unless you have the foot soldiers to really do the work, you may not go that far. So that's what it is if you look at other comparisons. But these are the people on the shop floor, the sections of the shop floor to the production, and so on and so forth. Functional level, and the departments, the various departments are connected. Now, when we go to the next slide here, it's talk about the operational level. Operational level is formulated as operational units now. Within the department, within marketing, for example, there are the units. Within the finance, there are units there. Those are operating level. A company may develop operating strategy, as an instance of its factories, states, territory, or small sections within the department. These are things that you see within the department that fit together to be able to meet the departmental objectives or division objectives. Operating managers, field managers develop an operating strategy to develop immediate objectives. Large organizations, the operating managers are assisted by mid-level managers and so on and so forth. These are the people on the ground, as you remember seeing that triangle. That these are the people really that are in the field and so on. In some companies, managers develop operational strategy for each set of annual objectives department. Now, let me emphasize here that all these levels are there in terms of principle, but they could be merged depending on the size of the company. If it's a small company, you may not have all these levels. You may have the CEO, and you may have the managers, and then the foot soldiers. You know, there's 3 levels. The directors, the owner of the company, then the managers who are actually looking at overseeing what's happening, and then you have the people on the shop floor. But larger organizations that employ hundreds and thousands of people will be able to have more levels of strategy, levels of strategy decision, and so on. So what we have shared here, the 4 levels, are actually for large companies. Smaller companies may merge some of this, so that the next, instead of having the 4 layers, you have maybe 2 or 3 layers, 3 layers at most, and so on. That's what happens in many organizations. Now, having looked at levels of strategy, we want to look at the next one, which is types of strategies. Again, this is what we mentioned at the beginning of this course when we talked about type of strategies. That strategies can be generic strategies and can be grand strategies. And generic strategy is a type of strategy which helps to create strong competitive position in terms of cost or differentiation. Generic, basically, is basically dealing with creating strong competitive position. It's a object that creates position, has attract existing new and competitors, customers, and finally to increase profitability. That's generic. And then generic strategy are also business level strategies. Yeah, because you come across classifications. Some thinkers look at generic and grand, and so where do you domicile this? And you can see that domicile at the business level, where the business level is the next level. From the top level, that's corporate level, we come to business level. Now, generic strategy is formulated by the business or corporate manager. Now, again, here, this is it's merged because it depends on the company. If the business is small, you find that these 2 levels are merged. They are not much difference. The business level and the corporate level is really the same for small companies. Bigger companies see the difference. There are 5 generic strategies, which are the 5 common ones are this listed here. We have overall low cost leadership strategy. You're talking of costs, differentiation. You have to differentiate your products. Best cost, yes, best cost strategy. What's the best cost compared to our competitors? Focus on low cost. You want to look at the low cost in production. You want to decrease the cost, like some of you mentioned earlier in that example I gave. And you also have focused differentiation strategy, where you are focusing on specific type of production. Details of this explanation, these are in our notes, which we've given to you. We mentioned it towards the end of the class, that you have them. You open the page, you open that that page of the course, and you see the notes we've given you. You will get details on these 5 generic strategies. Again, we said at the business, that's where the domicile, and there are differentiations cost and difference and so on, depending on these levels. Right. As we go on, the next level is we're looking at the grand strategy. The grand strategy is a type of strategy which helps to achieve organization objective. And you see, when you talk of organization objective, you are looking at the bigger picture. So the grand strategy is the bigger picture at the corporate level, corporate, board of trustees, the council, the university level. At the top there, that's where you are looking at. So that you are looking at where you are going as an organization. And those are grand strategies. Objectives to show the direction of the business to achieve its goals. If I may pause here for a minute and ask, what are some of examples? Can you give an example of a grand strategy? For example, for, let's say, a company like the other company I give a company like a Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank has been around as a bank that has been around for many years. So can we give an example? Give an example of a grand strategy for Standard Chartered. Give an example of a grand strategy. Strategy for Standard Chartered Bank, Standard Chartered, or KCB for that matter, or your bank, your young, or any other bank, or any other bank of your choice. Yeah, give an example of a grand strategy for a Standard Chartered or any other bank of your choice. Looking at what we have said here, that type of strategy which helps to achieve organizational objective. You know, banks and financial institutions, what they do. So if anybody here, maybe you want to raise your hand and answer, please, the mic is with you. You can unmute and then the floor is open. But if you feel like typing in and giving us from the chat here, please, I'm ready to get your chat. Give an example of a grand strategy. We've said objective of this strategy is overall direction of the business to achieve the firm's objective. They are corporate level strategy. That's formulated by top level, chief executive and above. You know, chief executive is part of the board of trustees, board of directors, and so on. Yeah. Can you give us an example of Standard Chartered? Yeah, I see Rosendup, it's typing, and the Kobai. Yeah, give us something. Let's see. Examples of these members. Equity, offering services that are friendly to the customers, such as farmers loans, school fees loans. Yes. What would they be doing? We're looking at the strategy as a grand strategy. What would they be doing if they are giving such a loans to farmers? It means they are expanding their portfolio. So to expand their portfolio from the normal businessmen, traders, they have gone into the farmers. They see this as farming as a country. Kenya, for example, Kenya, of course, is a farming country. It's agricultural based. And so giving loans to farmers is expanding their mandate from just the traditional giving loans to the businesses like Mama Bogas. They have gone out there. And that's increasing their portfolio. That's good. School fees, for example. Wings to fly. You see that? Wings to fly. Very interesting. Yes, Wanza. I see Wanza wants to say something. Wanza, Alice? Floor is yours, once Alice. You want to say something? Yes? Hello, Wanza. Oh, she unmuted. Why unmute? Okay. Okay, why mute, huh? Okay, I see Kubai, Equity Bank's introduction of equity agents to reach out to more customers. Yes, that could it have been, yes, grand strategy, because to reach out to agents, it must be a board direction at the top, not managers at the management level, at the branch level, but it's at the top, the board level, where they said, how do we increase how do we reach our customers? The bank goes to the customers, by the way. And Equity was the first one to do this. I think it was among the first banks to do that. Any other examples? Keep typing. See, Marlo is typing. Yeah, I will need more comments, ladies and gentlemen. This is an interactive session. This is your session. Malim is just a coach. You are the players. And all of us are playing together. So we expect you to communicate. Either you have your mic, you can, or if not, you can also send us a chat here, and we'll be hearing from you. So we said, give an example of a grand strategy for StanChart or any other bank of your choice. Two people have so far given. I talked about Equity Bank, what they have done in terms of reaching out to widen their portfolio. Yes, somebody want to say something? And then, of course, someone has talked about also agency banking. Very interesting. Even M-Pesa, even what? You see, this M-Pesa is, of course, Safaricom. But they're working together, whereby they equity agents. And they also do M-Pesa and things like those. Well, some of the examples here, we have 15 grand, some of the examples, 15 grand strategies, which are indicated here. We've summarized them here. The concentrated growth, really concentrating in terms of the customers you have, and you are growing them in terms of new products or whatever, in terms of serving them better, and so on. You see more messages here. You see those messages. When you're opening up new branches all over the country to easy accessibility and reliability, yes, you are reaching the customers by making them closer to you. Marlo, creating good public relations with the customers, right? Yes, a listening bank, as I'm saying, KCB has a mobile banking to make easier accessibility. Yes, all this, as you see, there's a new one that came recently. Mobile banking, and there's also what? The current one. Anybody wants to give an example of the current one? What are the banks doing today? Riding on technology, what is happening? Let's hear somebody. Either here or type something. What are the banks doing? The financial institutions and even supermarkets have got into this in partnership. What is happening with the COVID-19, which has brought in distancing and no traveling, stay home? Anybody asking you guys? Nobody can comment. Either you use your mic or let's hear from you. Let's read from you. As we say, I'm asking the most recent, you may call innovation, a strategy that banks are using or financial institutions, and also, or it's the same being used by even supermarkets. What is it? What is that strategy? Yeah, to reach the customers and capture them. I'm waiting to hear from you guys. You really have not read from you, Richard, Chris Mlogosi, yeah, Josephine Maina, yeah, right.
I'm having problem with the network. I'm having a problem with the network.
Network problem?
Yes.
Okay, type something then. Waiting for you to type something. I'm saying, I asked the question, and in the comments. Okay. We need to hear from you. KCB and other banks have done this. All right. So we say concentrated growth, market development. Yes, you are developing the market. Product development, the part of grant. Innovation, green innovation. The new innovation that has come today is what? I don't want to answer right now, as some of you are still typing. You may come up with that answer. Yep. New innovation in banking today. What's in financial sector? Vertical integration is one of them. We'll be looking at this towards the end when we talk about data strategies. Yes, horizontal integration, concentrated diversification. We talked about concentrated growth and concentric diversification. You know the difference, that diversify product, service, and so on. Yes. I see, Rostan, thank you very much. And Jiru, you've said, due to COVID-19, such as Equity has allowed its customers to withdraw their cash direct to M-Pesa account. Yes, direct to M-Pesa account or bank online. You know, that's one thing that has come very, very as a strategy. Banking online. Again, that's a grand strategy from the top. Board of the board at the top there, corporate, saying, look, with the COVID-19, what do we do to reach our customers? Let them go online, and so on and so forth. Conglomerate diversification, these are things we'll be looking at. Turn around. If the company is doing very poorly, the decision to be made to turn around is at the top. Again, it's a grand strategy about recovery of that. I believe companies like Kenya Airways and others will likely be looking at a turnaround strategies. Companies that have not been doing, most of the companies, by the way, they are looking at post-COVID-19. What will happen? COVID-19 has affected the economy. Read the newspapers, they are all awash with the news about how organizations, companies have been devastated. Actually, sales have plummeted, customers, employees have gone home or unpaid leave, many of these. But how do we turn around? So a strategy that has to turn around, which is real now, is about, you can talk about a grand strategy. Is done at the top. How do we turn around? Start sharing. Webcam might have gone off. Back here. Okay. What we're saying is turning around. That could be just a grand strategy. Turn around. And then divestiture. It means what? It means cutting down on your investments. You know, you have been investing, but you want to cut down on your operations. They cut down on your branches, divest, move away from, reduce some of your activities in a particular industry to go to another one or to move to another country. Those are major decisions. Those are grand strategies that are done at the corporate level. And then, of course, liquidation. We are going to liquidate the company like maybe corporate level. It's a grand strategy. And then you go into now, how do we go about liquidating our company? Joint venture. You want to start a joint venture with another organization. We want to go into, let's say, China and manufacture in China now new products because of the cost of production. You're going to join venture with a company in China. You know, a Kenyan company joined the venture with a company in China. It looks much lucrative because the Chinese understand their culture and so on. For you to understand everything. So you want to do everything. Bankruptcy, we are going to be declared bankrupt, of course, that's a legal process. It's also a grand strategy. Consortia, strategy, and strategic alliances. I think this strategic alliances where is here. Strategic alliances also become part of the strategy. There. Do I bring in the web camera? Retry. It's forcing me to get that. Is it very reliable? Ladies and gentlemen, back again. Sorry for this backwards and forwards. I hope we are able to get together. I am back again. I guess we are together here. And I said give an example of grand strategy for Standard as well. I had start. A number of you had typed. And so as we continue, I still am waiting for more comments. Members, you can get your mic and the floor is open, or you can type in. Give any other example of this grand strategy. We have given you the direction now. If you want to give any others in your mind, not only in banking, let's move out far from banking and go to other areas. Like if you are using your transport, road hauliers from Mombasa all the way to Rwanda or to Uganda or to South Sudan. If you are dealing with hauliers, you need transport and logistics. What are some of the grand strategies you can think about if you are in the board of directors, corporate level? Let's get examples. Gentlemen, can we get examples? Ladies and gentlemen, either you can type a message or whatever. What others can we think about here? Yeah. And you can give an example of market developments, or you can give an example of turnaround, given those, or strategic alliance. You are doing transportation from Mombasa all the way to Rwanda and South Sudan and Burundi and AR Congo. You need these big lorries that transport, the transit lorries. And you are at the board level, that's a company. Say about Logistics International Company, or this one called whatever companies you can think about, but you are doing that transport, big vehicles and so on. What would be some of the grand strategies you can come in to bring in on board at this time of COVID-19? I'm talking about this because if you are listening to the news and reading the papers, there's a long queue of lorries, buses going through Malaba or Busia. And even a few days ago, there were incidents where truck drivers actually blocked the way and told the government, please, we are suffering going to Uganda. There are issues there. Can you help us? You can see the operators on the ground crying. So if you are sitting at the level of board level of one of these logistic companies transporting goods between Mombasa and those other countries in and there, what would you put in place or suggest as a grand strategy? I'm waiting to hear from you or to read from you guys. Since Oninyoli is typing and Rosando, what about the others as well? We are all interactive. Mutuku, Caroline, I've not read from you. And Dunda, if you are here, Ireri, Helen Otieno, we've not got anything from you guys. Can I hear from you? Either type, I'm saying you are a member of the board of directors of one of these long distance, one of these companies that runs long distance buses, lorries, transport. And this, given the COVID-19 challenges, what would be one of the grand strategies you could say you could bring out? I'm hearing that. I want to hear from you. Thank you very much, Simon. You've said if a company is well established, I would bring in the use of airplanes, planes, transport, cargo in faster way. It's fast. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, you can fly. But some goods are heavy, These ones are holding the road are heavy and bulky. Okay, but it's a solution. Could be one of them. Yeah, fast and reliable. Well, one stop from Mombasa to Kigali or whatever. That's good for those goods that are transported by air. But otherwise, let's a grand strategy on innovation during this COVID-19 of people concentrating on a marketplace share platform. Should it be a platform where supplies all stuff when a customer requires? Yes, that's away from transport. You're giving us a one-stop shop where all supplies are in one place. Congesting on the marketplace should be a platform where supplies all this. Yes, a grand strategy on innovation. That's interesting. Very good. Alliances. As Simon is typing, Jacqueline Malo, I can see you also typing. What about strategic alliances? Do you think that could be possible? You are transporting from Mombasa to the border. And then from the border, you exchange. Would that not be a possibility? Yes, it's a grand strategy that is made at the board level, by the way, at the corporate level, where you have a strategy where you say, our drivers will not go into Uganda. So you get in touch with the Ugandan counterpart, working with the Ugandan company, doing the same. And then the Rwandese on the other end, if they are going to Rwanda and beyond. So that you only exchange at the border. What you do is your truck is exchanged. You get at the drive from the other side. Or they're offloaded. Another way is to offload. If you are carrying, let's say, those containers, they're just offloaded onto another truck. and they go, or you can just exchange drivers. Drivers from Kenya, they don't need to go to Uganda or Tanzania for that matter. So that on the other side, the Tanzanian drivers are ready to pick up the vehicle and go with it. That means really, really interesting about logistics. That's a grand strategy. Any others? I saw people typing here. Let's see. The grand strategy innovation. I thought I saw others typing also. I'm not got communications, but let's move on. Moving on again here. Let's see. Next one is we want to zero in as people type. We want to zero in. Alan, I've not seen you before. Alan, where are you? Can you give us that answer to that question I had asked first? Yeah, Jacqueline Malo. I need to read from you guys. Now, let's move from strategies to strategic planning. This is the second subtopic we are dealing with today. Yeah, before we do that, I see Jacqueline Malo, grand strategy in creating pay bill numbers for payment of goods and services purchased to avoid direct cash to operations in business. Yes, creating pay bill numbers and so on and so forth. Yes, it's a grand strategy. Done at the board level, you're looking at any strategies at the board corporate level. They're looking at the big business, big picture of the business. Right, to the next slide that we're seeing here, we are seeing strategic planning. And this as an introduction, because we'll be dealing with it in details in subsequent subsequent sessions or topics. What is a strategic plan? I'm sure many of us have read about strategic plans, and have either read some, participated in some, but here we are now formally coming down to look at what are the nitty-gritty, what are the nuts and bolts of preparing a strategic plan. Remember at the beginning we said one of the major projects for this course in this semester is for you to prepare a strategic plan for a simple business. And so we begin now by looking at what are the key elements. A strategic plan is a document, as you can read there, that establishes the direction of an organization. Excuse me. Direction of an organization. It serves as a document that articulates the overall strategic management process. Right, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the strategic management process, we said it is creating what we call competitive advantage. And the competitive advantage is a big thing because you want to make sure that the organization is better, is doing well. We've used the banks, some of their front runners. We've used the supermarkets, front runners, some of them. We've used the telecom companies, some of the front runners. So to be able to be a front runner, the strategic plan is key as a tool that articulates the strategic management process. The process of developing a strategic plan that helps the management and the team step back and examine where they are, where they want to go, and how to get there. The strategic plan really is helping the organizations, as we see here, the company, to just step back a little and examine where you are, you want to go, and how to get there. As we pause a little to think about that statement, with more answers here, we have Alan Odwor. People are restricted on handshaking and social distancing, make goods available at the door, at their doorsteps, and make payments using different. Yes, this is what's happening now as one of the innovations. And a decision that to come like that should come from the corporate level. That how do we reach our customers? You can also be at business level, services doorstep. A good example also here, if some of you might have before I give it. Jacqueline Malo, thank you. KCB Bank offering some amount of money to help mitigate the coronavirus rapid spread. Yes, dealing with social responsibility. What KCB is doing, what they call CSR, it's actually upping it to be able to offer resources to be put into this kitty to be able to support the less fortunate in this pandemic. But what I wanted to say here is that when you look at the strategic planning, it is really now the nitty-gritty of how do you implement the strategic management process. You implement it through a tool called strategic plan. And you sit back and look at where are we? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we? And how do we get there? That is what the strategic plan really does. It looks at the vision. Where are we going? Where are we now? And how do we get there? Which is really a tool. It's a document that steps or the strategies to be used to achieve your objectives. There are 7 basic elements of a strategic plan. As we said, 7 elements of a strategic plan. And one of them, just before I look at those 7 elements, I'm looking at now, if you look at some of the grand strategies that universities are doing, like our university here, just sort of to take you back there. The example I wanted to give was offering education, offering learning using blended learning. This is an approach, you may call it, is a grand strategy that the university is doing. Since some of you have talked about bringing services to the doorstep of the customers, goods to the doorstep, this is exactly what we're doing. I'm sure some of you are sitting at home, maybe under a tree or in a room, sitting and following this lecture, which is very good. So what we have done really as a grand strategy, right from the top, was to decide how do we offer learning to our students and not be able to make them continue with their processes of acquiring knowledge and skills for them to graduate on time and be able to join the workforce at whatever levels. So that's exactly what it is, as one of the examples mentioned by you, bringing products closer to home. And then, of course, strategic alliances I can see here. Some companies may form an understanding by signing alliance where different companies from different countries make stuff. So, yeah, in fact, COVID-19, for example, gives that opportunity that now that we cannot travel, there are companies, China, India, Turkey, name it, Europe, Americas, the companies can form alliances. Rather than traveling to and fro, you can be able to work together and manufacture what they have competitive advantage on that end, and you produce also what we have competitive advantage here in Kenya, and these companies can work in strategic alliance. These are part of the grand strategies, as we say. And you see, this can be documented in a strategic plan. The strategic plan is a document that is dynamic and should be able to capture all the strategies that the organization is using to where they want to go. Now, the process of development strategy plan helps the management, as we said, step back and examine where they are, where they want to go, and how to get there. That's of a vision. Where do you want to go? Remember the first chart we had, the first picture, where we had the vision at the top, out there, and then you have the mission. So when you look at the vision, where are we going? The aim at the sun and the moon. I'm sure you have heard this before in academic journey. That in school, work hard, aim at the vision, at the sun, and land on the moon if you can't reach the sun. Okay. Well, the vision is really, in a way, is aiming at the sun. Where do you want to go as an organization? How do you get there? The mission comes in as you prepare your strategic plan. You must see where you're going. The eye on the ball, the eye on the where you want to be number one, world class. And then how do you get there? What are the nitty-gritty things that you'll be doing to get there? And then what are the core values? These are things that drive. These are things that guide decision making. You talk of the values. You remember in the last session, I think the last session or the last two, we talked about the mission, vision, mission, and the core values of your university. If some of you can remember very well, one of the core values there was integrity, technology, and so on. These are some of the things that we talked about. And so, in the strategic plan, the elements are vision statement, the mission statement, then you come to core values. What are our core values? Then we come to the SWOT analysis. Here, these are tools that is used in terms of determining what are your strengths and weaknesses and opportunities. And then you get to long-term goals. You now develop your goals. What are your goals? Look at where you're going. And then you come to your objectives. When you look at the long-term objective, I can see how I will this problem. Back there. All right. We're going on. So Naivas, I can see here as we continue. Hello, Atieno, Naivas supermarkets offering foodstuffs. Worth 20 million to help Virginia. Yeah. All these are strategies and at the grand level, as we say, yellow 8, we will be coming across that we need to do that. So these are the elements, the basic elements, key elements of strategic planning. Strategic planning, remember, is a document that establish the direction of the organization. Where are we going? Your university here, Zitec University, we have a strategic plan. And there are 5-year plans. We're talking about 2020, 2024. That is our strategic plan. And we are rolling over from the plan that was ending 2020. So that these plans are actually this process. As you plan, you continue and you continue revising. When you finish the first year of the plan, you're looking at, are we achieving what we plan to do? Are there things that have come into market that will require us to really be able to do other things as well? So strategic plan does that. Those are the elements. And I want to look at these elements again in details very quickly, each one of them. Besides, of course, you have the notes on this, but let's move, look at them in details. Vision statement, that's where you begin. What is a vision statement? We mentioned this earlier, but we are getting slightly in the details. What is a vision statement? Yes, Chris Mulogosi, I can see you are on. You have a question, a comment? Hello, Chris.
I don't have.
Don't have. Okay, are we okay so far?
Yes.
All right. So a vision statement, this is what it does. Is a statement describing the way you envision your business in the future. Don't forget about the future. Then it's also a roadmap. The vision statement is a company's roadmap, indicating what the company wants to become by setting a defined direction for the company's growth. Also, as such, it should communicate that dream to your employees, customers, and other stakeholders. Other stakeholders must also see your vision, because when they come to an organization, the first thing they need to do is company profile. And if you have your company profile, like a prospectus, normally the first thing they will see there is what is it that you are going to achieve. If you are saying you want to be the world-class institution, university, and we talk about world-class university, or a center of excellence in learning, in university education, center of excellence. If anybody reads that, the first thing they see is this institution, of course, is going places, and I want to do business with a center of excellence. Without that, ladies and gentlemen, without the vision, people look at you and say, where are you going, actually? You are also another university like any other. But if your vision is catchy and you are mean business, you talk about we want to be a world-class university. And how do we do that? Brings in the vision. Many times, as you notice, in many organizations, including your own university, when you walk into the campus, you'll be seeing, or you see a vision statement there, a mission statement there, and core values. Either at the entrance or a prominent place, or in the lobby where you are registered, front office, you have something telling you about the organization. So it tells stakeholders, the customers who come into business with you, employees, and many others. Vision statement is very crucial. It shows people what you are going, where you are going. The vision statement should be reviewed continuously. Of course, it's not cast on stone. As things change, you find that things slightly change a little bit as the economy changes, as the market changes, and you'll always be reviewing, not every day, but you'll be reviewing occasionally. You'll be looking at your vision. Are our eyes still on the ball? The green ball, if the green ball you're looking at, or have we changed? We're looking at the yellow. You know, this is what again comes in, just using those as examples, but are you still looking at where you're going? So basically they are reviewed annually. Annually, most organizations look at it. Annually, we evaluate our strategic plan, and are we still on course? Yes, we are. We don't need to change anything except maybe a few activities and so on. That's normally what happens, we'll be seeing. So the vision statement is about that. And so it's very interesting. If I may pause here for a question, I may ask a question. Can you design a vision statement for yourself, for example? You are not a company, business, but suppose you are starting a business. What would be your vision statement? Or what would be your vision? Share with us. Share with us. Share with us your vision statement. Your vision statement, briefly statement, assuming you are running a transport business. I'll move from transport. You are running, or you are operating a supermarket. Share with us very briefly. You can type or give us what would be Yeah, that's briefly. What would be statement assuming you are operating a supermarket? What you may tell us the element. And somebody mute their phones, please mute your phone. Hello? Yes. Statement is there. Share with us. Assuming you are running a supermarket, you are the owner of the supermarket. Share with us some few elements of your vision. You are looking at what will be a vision statement like. These revisits tells us to revisit what we did for the university vision. What about you? If you are running it, we said statement describe the way you envision your business. Again, it's a roadmap where you'll be going, showing where you want to go. Again, communicate the dream. What's your dream? If you are the owner of a supermarket, what would be your dream? Okay? A vision statement reviewed. Number of typing, which is good. We're also waiting if there's anybody who feels like really encourage you to get your mic and tell us something. Yes, I see Rostendep. Thank you, Anjiru. Be the leading supermarket supplier of quality products and service in the region. Yep. You see there. Excellent. Leading supplier of quality products and services in the region. You are looking at the region, yes, and you are looking at competitors. It's excellent. You are leading. Keywords here are leading. And then quality products. And then the region. Key things. Yes, challenge all of us who are listening and this class. I've given you that question, posed that question. Share with us your vision statement, assuming you are running this. Thank you very much, Josephine Maina, to be the most recognized supermarket in the entire region. Yes, the most recognized. Yes, the most visible. Very interesting. Most visible. Others can continue sharing. These are good, excellent. If supermarkets restricting, ladies and gentlemen, you can choose another business. Tell us what the business is and type and send us a chat. You don't need to restrict yourself to supermarket. Think aloud, giving you opportunity to think aloud. Or pick your mic and tell us something. Pick your mic and tell us something about what you think. Your business. Tell us, I want to be in this industry, maybe transport. And you're transporting, let's say, passengers between, let's say, Mombasa and Nairobi. What will be what will be a vision? Josephine Booth, I can see to be the owner supermarket. Richard, thank you. Expanding my market, e.g., yeah, expand by putting a restaurant and come here, diversify. Maybe most diversified business, maybe the vision is to diversify, to expand your market and be maybe the leading multiple businesses. You can put it that way. Mira Sako, tell us something. Make Mira great again. It's a company. When you look at Mira Sako, yeah, Mira, make it great again. Okay. To be a premier partner, will meet all your daily wants to both directly and indirectly. Yes, premier partner, that's good. These are good comments. Send them over. You know what it is? It is your dream, and it must be conveying where you want to take your company to. Thank you very much. Keep them typing as we go on the next slide. Next slide here gives us about the mission statement. Again, zeroing in details here, what is a mission statement? We said you start with the vision, which is the dream. And then the mission is the how we get there. And listen, look at this. While a vision describes how the vision describes how you view your business to your customers and stakeholders, a mission statement describes what you do currently. Yes, what are we doing currently to make sure that we reach where we want to go? If it's use of technology to be able to be the best company, to be the best supplier, those are kind of things. But it's tied to the vision. I've seen some new comments also here concerning the vision. Jacqueline Mwalo, to be the best cake production industry in the country. Yes, best cake production industry or a company for that matter. You're looking at it for the company, yeah? So maybe the best cake production company in the country, or the confectionery industry in the country. Yes, Ndunda, to be an innovative, honest, and sustainable cooperative, and which cooperative in which customers are able to choose from a wide range of goods and affordable price. Yes, Muya, while that looks good, it tends to be more of a mission statement. Innovative. If you go further, you see how you are doing it. Yeah, right. You have said to be innovative, honest, and sustainable corporate in which customers are able to choose. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's good. It looks more of a mission, but you have something there. You can craft it and make it shorter. Maybe an innovative and honest, sustainable cooperative. Sustainable cooperative in the country. To be an innovative corporate in the country, honest. Normally, vision statements are supposed to be catchy, short statements, not a long paragraph, and tells you what you want to be. Okay, which is okay. Caroline, yes, ensure that you have efficient transport, yes, and services to meet the needs, to ensure that you have. Why not talk about efficient transport company? Would you want to be an efficient transport company, and so on, to ensure strategic location of the supermarkets? Yes, these are some of they may not be vision statements as such, because vision is the dream, to ensure the strategic location. So if you are to be closely located to close to customers, probably, yeah, you can improve it. Mwambia, property management business, vision statement, to provide quality professional service that meets the needs and aligning interest of the tenants and clients through assets. Yes, it has elements of the mission statement. You could just talk about provide quality professional service that meet the needs of customers. The professional services in what? Is it in what industry is it? You may talk about property, in the property industry, to be the quality professional service to provide, to be number one, probably provide number one professional service provider in the property market. So these are good, but they can be panel beaten a little bit. But let's see the mission statement. You might see it and see how you can be able to improve on your vision statements. It says, describes your business. Mission describes what you do currently and how you do it. Mission statement declares a company's purpose. It announces the world at large why your company exists. Yes, mission statement talks about why we exist. We exist to provide the best laundry services in laundry services, in carpet cleaning, in upholstery cleaning, and in apparel cleaning. You may go that direction. You are talking about what it is as a company does. And then it's often described what you do, for who, and how. Yes. Now it brings in the element of what you do, for who, and for whom. That's part of what we say statement. Otherwise, a vision statement is just what you want to be. But the mission statement goes further to talk about what you do, for who, and how. It focuses on our mission each day. Focusing on our mission each day should enable you to reach your vision. Exactly as we said, that the mission really leads you to your vision. It is the implementation of your vision, or it is the, you may say, the expansion of your vision. Your vision is the dream, but to expand that dream, you do it well in your mission. You talk about the who, what you do, and how you do it. A mission statement could be broad, than your choices, or narrow them. The mission statement gives you, it gives the broader picture. Or if it's too broad, again, it may bring it a little bit narrower. But the key thing here is a mission statement is it should help you achieve your objective. That's key. How do you achieve your objective? That's where we're going into the mission statement. Now, having said that, can we see the difference now? Some of the comments you have given here, Paris and maybe Mutukus and others, you have given elements of the mission statement, and we can easily reduce this. So, if you are in, let's say, you are in, take an industry of your choice. Take an industry of your choice. Maybe you are manufacturing. You are manufacturing food stuff, so like Weetabixes and any others, breakfast cereals. And you are manufacturing this. What would be your mission, if we may ask ourselves? Can we give an example of a mission for provide an example of a mission statement assuming you are manufacturing. Let's say you're a bakery. You're a bakery, for example. Simple. A bakery and confectionery. Assuming you are a bakery, you are in a baking business. You are in baking and confectionery business. Assuming you are in the baking and confectionery business industry. Baking and confectionery typing confectionery. Yes. Assuming you are there, confectionery business. Confectionery is sweets and things like those business. Assuming you are in confectionery business, provide a mission statement, an example of a mission statement, assuming you are in baking and confectionery business. Let's hear some of you all type. Let's get comments on this, ladies and gentlemen. Good. I see some of you have typed a little bit here. You're in confectionery business. Yes, stand up, meet the taste and preference of the customers, ensuring to provide the best, using the best, the best and up-to-date baking designs. Yes, stand up, good trial. Yes. Let's see Kimani. Kimani has given us mission statement to build a strong and solid, lasting relationship with the customers, partners, suppliers, and employees. Yes, so to build a strong relationship, right? Because you are dealing with these people, and we expect you to continue doing that exactly. Any others? I see Jacqueline and Alan are typing, giving that, chatting. What about the others? I see quite a number. Maureen Gajikwa, are we together? Mbudi Amos, are we here? Helena Tieno, you disappeared. Yes, I didn't hear you from the beginning. I expect all of us to be communicating, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at this, looking at mission statement. I wanted to hear some of you. As you type, let's move on to the next one. Next one here is, having looked at the mission statement, core values. And this is very interesting. Core values describe your beliefs and behaviors. If you are in a confectionery business, for example, baking and confectionery, you are making cakes, breads, and so on, things like those. Don't be angry. I can see it's almost lunch hour. Don't be angry. You're making this. What would be your core values? Yeah, what are some of the core values? I get some more responses here about the mission statement. Kimani Mungai, yes, you are talking about mission statement to build a strong, solid. Yeah, you had said that. Jacqueline Malo, use the best raw materials and ingredients to produce sweets, the sweetest product ever. Yeah, okay. These are the statements. Yes, they project how you are going to get there. Of course, as we say, if you have the mission statement, the mission statement follows by expanding on that. The core values, if we may move fast forward, core values, what are they? Core values describe your beliefs and behaviors. If you are in the confectionery business, what are your core values? What are they? They are also guiding principles which dictate behaviors and help employees understand the difference between right and wrong. Yes, they are guiding principles. Core values are guiding. They guide you in terms of what is right when you are making decisions. You remember when we talked about the core values of your university, Zitec University, we talked about integrity, we talked about customer. Most of when you revisit that, you'll see that there are actually principles that guide decision making at every level, so that employees know what we are expected to be doing. Even students, even workers, anybody in that institution knows why we are there and where we are going and what are our beliefs and behaviors. They are the beliefs that will enable the company to achieve its vision and mission. Yes, without core values, you are not going anywhere, because people may not care much about customer care, may not care about integrity, may not care about all the things you talk about, So these things are crucial in terms of ensuring that it guides the decision-making and the way people behave in the organization. They guide managers' decision-making process. I've said that. Core values are also help companies to determine if they are on the right path and fulfilling their goals by creating an unwavering guide. Wow. They help companies to determine if they are on the right path. Yes, core values help us. Core values including honesty, ensure to produce healthy products to avoid endangering human life. Thank you, Rostentop. You're already ahead. Yes, you have already given some of us core values, and so on. So when you talk about core values, I've used the term drivers before. Without core values, anything can go. You can even offer food that is stale. You can even produce bread that is using ingredients that are from condemned flour. You heard about those things, about some millers who are blacklisted. Was it last year or early this year? Last year, when the millers were using flour that has high levels of aflatoxins, whereby unakula ugali na unakuwa mgonjwa, or when you are whatever, using ingredients that are not fit for human consumption. So if you have good core values, your honesty comes in there, whereby you give products, good quality products. You will keep to quality. You keep to satisfying the customers because you want them to be there tomorrow. You don't want them to be sick or to buy from you. You want them to enjoy your products or services. So the core values really drive your business. Without proper core values, then you have a problem. Core values also, I see Jacqueline here, to partner with the government for maximum cooperation and so on. Core values as such are really statements that guide principles. Onyoni, yes, you've captured something very interesting there properly. Onyoni, Simon. Core values essentially, there are things like dependability. Yes. Are you dependable? For example, bus service. If you said we leave Nairobi at 5 in the evening and we'll be in Kakamega, let's say, choosing Kakamega, 5 in the evening, Kakamega, 5 in the morning, we take 12 hours. You must be able to do that because your drivers are not over speeding and they are careful. So dependability. At 5, we know the bus is leaving. But if sometimes the bus is leaving at 4, sometimes leaving at 8, they're not dependable. So what's your core value? Dependability. In terms of even the products. If you are offering a product like Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola has had a lot of competitors, but Coca-Cola still remains. Those who drink Coca-Cola, they say what? The same Coke is the same Coke, the same taste, the same original taste because it's dependable. Once you buy a product from Coca-Cola, you can depend on it. Many other examples are there, of course. Reliability is there. Thank you very much, Simon. Reliability is another one. Are you, what are your values? We are reliable. Do business with us, and we'll always deliver on time. Our promise to deliver on time. For example, one of our promises at the university is to make sure that you students get the knowledge, the experiences, give you opportunity to get experiences, knowledge that you can invent your future. And at the end of it all, as you go out of the university, as you graduate, people know that you have been to a university, which transforms and changes things. So that's exactly what happens. Like a commitment, loyalty, consistency. These are all core values, which is very good. Muti, I can see here, Amos, to be the leading bankers in East Africa. Maybe that's the vision. Mambia, examples of core values are integrity, respect, adaptability, commitment, yes, empowerment. Yes, these are all things that we can see are the drivers, the beliefs and behaviors of another people in the same organization. What are our beliefs? What are our behaviors? And the core values, I can see some examples. Thank you very much for those examples. Now, if you look at yourself, I want to pause for a minute and ask you to ask yourself. Interesting. Do you have any core values? Do you have any values with you? The country Kenya has been talking about values. Why do we have rampant corruption in Kenya, for example? Why? Why do we have nepotism, tribalism? Why do we have those things? And when you look at the founding fathers of Kenya as a country, what were our core values? They are all embodied in our national anthem. You know, where there is respect, there's love, you know, there are things. And of course, the Nyayo philosophy came in and said, peace, love, and unity. You remember, the core values of the Nyayo era of rule of this country, of course, they are all positives and negatives you can talk about, but nobody is perfect. All of us, leadership, even today's or tomorrow's leadership is not perfect. But the core values that were embodied, for example, peace, love, and unity. Mzee Kenya Moi, he had that. And so on. Kibaki came with his and everything. So anyway, looking at core values are the real things, the nitty-gritty, the drivers of any organization, be it a political organization, including political parties. They have values. You know, look at the political parties today, you wonder what is happening. What values do you have? Each one of those, you can see the big parties in this country. I don't want to say many, but look at what values drive them, you know, and so on. Core values are things at the bottom. These are like the bottom line that drives you. Loyalty, commitment, transparency comes in here. Yes, it's like those are key things. Values, respect, unity, commitment. All these things, hardcore value, punctuality, honesty. All these things are there. Honesty. You know, when we deliver, like we are delivering this learning, Malimu here is honest in terms of delivering the learning, and you should also be honest in sitting at your computer or with your, you know, handset there. You are listening to Malimu and committing yourself to comment. You know, these are when we talk about values. I also bring them home. When I talk about you seated there and I'm here, and many other walimus like myself, we are really committed to making sure that we prepare adequately, we deliver the equipment. Of course, hitches here and there, but without those hitches, our core values is to deliver integrity. Promise what we deliver and deliver what we promise. And that's what we do as a university, CITEC University. That's what we do. And in your life, we want to hope that we are also imparting in you those core values that when you go out there, whether you are working for your own company or other companies or your own business, you will actually carry the core values with you as you go along there. Are we together? Is that right? What are some of the core values you need to talk about yourself? Anybody wants to give their own core values? What are the values that you impress yourself? Yes, these are for companies, like values, like or you can type there. What are the values besides what we have told you already? Values like commitment and things like those. Yes, Kubai is loyalty. Yes, I hope that's one of them that you have. Yeah, loyalty. Make sure that what you do here is you do it right as long as things work well. Now, loyal to an organization if things are done well, because people will not be loyal blindly if you are offering goods that are shoddy. Of course, if you are not really following the rule of the law and following the laid down procedures, people will not be loyal to you. If you cut corners and your shortcuts, you know, companies that do shortcuts and so on, you need to really be able to say you're doing that. Corruption, nepotism is in our. We have things happening because people don't adhere to these things. When you look at a country like Kenya, it's an organization. It's an organization. Look at the big company, and the CEO here is the president himself, and the cabinet there. You get the principal secretary, the chief cabinet secretaries, all those other fellows. Today, they are the core values of this country. Of intelligence, and they talk about strategic planning. That strategic planning really begins from the top. If the top adheres to the rules of the law and has really transparency and all those things, then of course, then you can see that others can also follow. So we have corruption because we lost our values. Somebody has mentioned, which is true. Honesty, patience, and consistency, efficiency, open-mindedness. Yeah, Mwambia Paris. These are things that we can think about. And so on. So core values, as you look at strategic planning, many organizations, in fact, when they're looking at a company, the first thing they do is they look at their core values. Do they have any values? Banks, for example, do they add charges, add charges to your account when you withdraw money? When you bank there, there's a way of removing some money from you in terms of high costs and so on, hidden costs. You know, are they really transparent? Those are key things that come in. Are they transparent? You know, when they want you to do business with them and they have levied charges for every account holder, you know, and so on. You can see there are problems there. So core values are real drivers and they're key in every organization, be it a country, be it even the non-government organizations. There are core values that are, what are their core values? They get a lot of money from well-wishers to do whatever they do, but do they use that money well? Or does the money go to the pockets of the owners, the founders, as we have seen in the past? There is a high corruption to some of those NGOs and so on and so forth. Or even when we see the ministries, the other day, the Minister of Health saying he's going to zero in on the Minister of Health headquarters because of corruption, you know, and so forth and so forth. The county governments, when you look at left and right, the governors, for example, without naming names, governors who have stolen left and right, you know, and when he goes to court, the court system postpones some of these things. What are the core values that drive, for example, a whole government, county government? Are they responsive? Are they stewards of the things that are given to them? So core values are key in every organization, be it a non-governmental organization, not-for-profit, government, quasi-government, and many others. That's what we look at when we look at core values and so on. Now, so we continue here very, very quickly. We want to move with time. I see some of the core values some of you have given. Thank you very much. The core values, commitment, and ensure, achieve my goals. Very good. Efficiency, openness, and so on. SWOT analysis is one of the elements we mentioned. It's an acronym for strengths, weaknesses. We just go over this quickly because we know SWOT analysis, what it means. We have come across it before. It talks about actually what you are and what others are in terms of what's internal and what's external. And you use this to mitigate. Use your strengths to project your company or the business moving further. You minimize the weaknesses in terms of looking at them, in terms of how do you remove them and turn them into strengths. And then you look at the opportunities. How do you take the opportunities? The opportunities are plenty out there. How do you reach out there to make sure that you increase your sales, your customers' loyalty, and the customer satisfaction, and increase your revenue and improve the profile of your company? How do you do it, really? And then what are the threats that are there? What are there? Competitors, government taxation, when it comes in legislations, things like those. SWOT analysis provides. So from SWOT analysis, you know, it informs you on your strategic plan. That what are the things you can work on before you begin implementing your strategies. Allows you to spot and name the important aspects, happenings, and adversaries of your business. Once you spot this, then you can implement your strategies very well because you know how to navigate. It's like navigating through a river full of sharks and so on, and crocodiles. You know, how do you navigate this? An example, if I may pause here for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, I like watching the National Geographic and the wild, and you see the wild, and you see those animals either in the oceans, really navigating through the enemies. And I see this one of these wonders of the Maasai crossing. Somebody I was giving you an example of the Maasai Mara, this great world beach club in Tanzania. They navigate the way, and they know they see crocodiles in the river. When they see crocs, they know how to navigate. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, so we're saying that really, I give an example here that it's happening as you saw adversaries, how to navigate through your business and so on. It allows you to spot and name important aspects, happenings, adversaries of your business. How do you maneuver? How do you get around it so that you have competitive advantage? Business strengths could be inability to attract local customers, while its weaknesses might be inability to break into a local, non-local consumer base. For example, if you are only selling the locals, Kenyans, there's also a large non-Kenyan population in Kenya here. They may not be consuming your product at the moment, but how do you get into there? Good example, the Chinese who have been here. Chinese in Kenya here have been bringing their own food. You see Chinese shops. How do you break into them to buy from Kenya? Just like an example of food industry and so on. So SWOT analysis gives you the picture of what are the opportunities, weaknesses that you need to overcome, and so on, or to navigate through. As we go along here, long-term goals is another element. What are the long-term goals then? Long-term goals are statements that drill down a level below the vision and mission, the vision, and describe how you plan to achieve it. Well, it's more or less, you talk about these goals are really after you've done the vision, mission. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Long-term goals. Set of goals usually starts 3 years out and extends to 5 years. Now, basically, the strategic plan is a 5-year. Most of them are 5-year plans. This is more or less like agreed conventional that strategic plan is. There are some 3 years, but standard is 5 years, because 5 years is a time when it gives you time to turn around. If you are actually investing, but in 5 years' time, you should have actually achieved some of those key things you want to achieve, and so on and so forth. That's why they say 5-year plans, which are rolled over, of course. Before 5 years are over, you have actually rolled it over. It's like a moving target. You don't go 5 years now. Next year, when you review next year, this plan, things have changed. So you can begin from next year, 2022 or 2021, 2021 plus 5 years, 2026 or 2025. This is a kind of thing, rolls over and so on, as we've seen later on. Long-term goals are the milestones a company sets to guide. It guides you in terms of achieving them. They're far-reaching objectives. Some examples of long-term goals could be of a business to strengthen its hold on the local market, increasing profits, and expanding its operation. It's an example given to you that what we want to do is we want a strong presence in the local market. We concentrate on the local market. Let's not go to Uganda, Sudan, or whatever. Why don't we concentrate on the local market? The population in Kenya being 50 million, and if we are supplying, let's say, products like in foodstuffs, how can we manufacture foodstuffs? How can we capture the like percent of 50 million? It's good enough. So companies may have the long-term plan is strong presence in the what? In the local market. And also increase profits, expanding your operations. Maybe you're only operating in, let's say, Western Kenya. Your company might be in Bungoma, just pick it, Bungoma. Your company is in Bungoma, and you've only captured Western Kenya, what used to be Western Province. The Busia, Kakamega, the bigger Kakamega, and the Busia, Kakamega, and Bungoma. Maybe you want to expand this, or the county government, for example. The Turkana county government, and the company is located there, it can expand to other governments, other counties. So these are things that you can talk about the long-term plan, the long-term goals that are elements of strategic plan. And this is informed from where? Informed from the vision, mission, and strategic objective. Vision. Where are we going? And also this core values. Then we move to the next item here, which is yearly objectives. Now, from the long term, you break this down now into objectives. These are measurable. We mentioned them earlier. Each long-term goal should have a few 1-year objectives that advance your goals. Yeah, objectives, and really you are breaking down the goals to objectives, things that are measurable. Here, it talks about measurable. They are specific, first of all. They are measurable, you can measure them. You can achieve them within the time period. They are realistic, and they are time-bound or time-based. That's why the acronym is SMART. It means the objective should be this yearly, for each department, each unit. After you make your yearly objectives, you might break each one of them down from short-term goals into short-term goals, yearly to short-term goals, and immediate goals, which define the activities, actions, and objectives for the next 3 months or so on. Yeah, 3 months are quarterly. You break them down to quarterly. If you are going to increase your sales by 50% in a year, break this down into 30% cannot be achieved at once. It is gradual. From January to by December, when you measure the performance of this year, you will have seen the overall change of 30%. So really, when you look at it that way, if we look at by mid-year, we should have done at least 15%. We have increased by 15%. By around October there, we should have done about 25%. And by November, usually by November and sales and so on, we should be clocking 30% increase. So this is what it happens in short term, 3 monthly, next 3 monthly, basically quarterly action plans that you want to achieve. Again, it cascades down from the goals to the objectives down to the short term goals. And this, as you move down, you also move into the functional level, as you saw the levels earlier. And then the plans for achieving your short term goals are your action plans. The action plans or activities which you'll be running. Okay, as we go along here, we are moving towards home stretch. The last one is here. Last 21 is here, 24 is our action plans, which go into the activities. What are the action plans? Let's drink a little water. Action plans, each objective should have a plan that details how it will be achieved. Each objective. Here are the objectives, you break them down into now action plans. The amount of detail depends on the amount of flexibility you want your manager's team to do. So flexibility down to vision without a plan is just what? It's been said that a vision without a plan is just a dream. A plan without a vision is just drudgery. But a vision with a plan can change the world. Wow, that's a good almost parting shot in terms of relationship between vision at the beginning. You remember we talked about the vision, and now we are down to action plans. So a vision without a plan is just a dream. What is it? It's just a dream. But a plan without a vision is also drudgery. You have a plan, but you don't know where you're going. It's like Alice in Wonderland. You remember the story of Alice in Wonderland? You have a plan, you are there. Where are you going? So you have no vision. It's drudgery. But a vision and a plan can change the world. Creating a plan to achieve your business objectives may not change the world, but it is possible. Create a plan to achieve your business objectives may not change the world, but it's possible. Some of the most successful corporations started in garages, and through planning became industry giants. Wow. Through planning. You remember our opening statement there. We talked about the organization, and we'll get back there shortly. Finally, we want to talk about, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. It's been interesting, I'm sure. And we want to just share something here with you about the journey that we have had. We go back, sorry. I want to share something here with you about what we've just gone through. And we go to, here we are. It's a dashboard. I'm also going through there. I share that. You want to share what we've just done. And what we have done is, here. We're just down here. If you can view here, moving down what we've been doing. Okay, topic 4. What we have done in topic 4 is strategy formulation. And you remember this saying here, which says, the journey is forever. Do not ever let yourself feel like you have arrived. Because if you do, someone else will come and run right past you. You always have to keep going because you haven't reached the mountaintop yet. By Kevin Ashley, Java House, Kenya. Now, what we have done, we started with objectives, analyze the process of strategy formulation for an organization, discuss the role and place of strategic planning as a key tool. We've talked about it, what it does. And then the learning activities here, you have strategy formulation notes, levels of strategy making, and then elements of strategy plan. We've touched on this. These notes are here. Read the attached notes and make your own summaries for your own further understanding of the concept discussed. That's what we encourage you to do. Read. Then the forum here is a discussion activity here, which you need to do, which we have given you. We'll need you to read through it and then be able to share. It's mandatory. It's for you to read and make comments as we go along. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say we have reached the end of this session. I want to wish you well, and I want to have you. Want to wish you well, and as I wish you well, unless there's any comment, any other comment you want to bring in, gentlemen here, if you have any comment you want to bring in, I want to say any comments, please. Any comments before we close? Any comments about the course, despite the challenges of the technology? Any comments? I need to give me any comments. Any comments or questions? We just have a few more minutes before we do that. Any comments, questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any comments? Yeah. Strategy planning. Any comments, questions? You see, strategy management, this is what we put in here as our picture for the course. And those of you who play chess, I would encourage you to follow chess and see what really happens when people talk about the chess game. I'm sure you have indoor games, wherever you are. You can even Google and find out about chess. Chess is a play game that is interesting. and that is that's very interesting in terms of really having an aim, a vision, a mission to achieve and to capture the king of the opponents, and so on and so forth. And you have soldiers, and you have those ones. It's interesting. Now, comments, as I said in the comments, thanks for today's class. Thank you very much, Rosendup. Despite the challenges, I believe we have covered what we have. We have not lost anything except our time a little bit, but not quite. I'm sure next time we'll not have that kind of hitch. It was technical. I think there was my modem and Safaricom issues, but no problem. Don't worry. We have covered all we have. The card is set to which topics? The topics we covered up to last week. Somebody's asking the card up to the end of last week. We not cover today's in the topic in the card because it is set. So the first three sessions or so, which is actually general, basically, and so on, because they will help you in terms of if you go back there. So just maybe an assurance concerning tomorrow's cards. There will be easy accessibility of the ZZ platform. Are we awaited as we await exams? Yes, this has been worked on. Simon Onyoni. That's why there was postponement of even to yesterday's papers, and we believe that right now there will be no hitch. The unexpected may occur, but what has been done by the university and the Directorate of e-learning has actually worked hard with the rest of the team, the registrar's office, the DV and the DVC's guidance, and the management as such, university management. We are all aware and we apologize for those kind of hitches, but this was a way of just getting to get the waters and see how best we are moving to ensure to manage online examinations. So Onyoni Simon and the team, yes, there have been assurance, and we have seen it. Like today, there have been a little interruption, but not quite much. So this is what we are expecting, that we will not have much with the exams. Topics, again, the first three topics of this course, as we mentioned them, and you saw, if you go to your course outline, you will see that the notes that were given, they will help you. And then thank you very much, Josephine. So I want to wish you all God's blessings, ladies and gentlemen, that let's all buy up this. University has been rated the top among four, in the continent actually of Africa, in terms of blended learning. Look at today's nation. You see something there. I wish you well and God's blessings. We hope we'll see you in the exam. We don't see you directly, but you can log on and use the timetable given, and I'm sure there will be help there in terms of hitches in the hitches. As I mentioned again, the exam is a friendly one. You don't have to worry about it. You don't panic. You have been preparing enough. You have been listening to lectures and participating. The things we have asked there are basic things that we have learned. There's a multiple choice section, which is 10 questions, 1 mark each, and make sure you read through, understand the question very well before you select the answer. Once you select, you cannot change your mind. And then it closes and you get to the next one and next one and next one. Don't open and run ahead to check what is there. Just go through sequentially as you have been instructed. When you open, you begin question 1, question 2, question 3, up to 10. Then the other questions will follow. The essay type. Write. Don't write too much because the space also there given. We have given you how many words. It's a page, 2 pages or so. That's what we've given you. Write something that you think is going to answer some of those questions. As again, I assure you, all is well, and may God bless you. Thank you for attending this lecture, and I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you.
You are currently the only person in this conference.